Morning. I appreciate everyone coming in early today to listen to us. Again, I'm also running unopposed, but I've been on this board for 10 years. I'd like to talk a little bit about it, and I'm going to start with Mark Crum as a business agent. About 15 years ago, I became an area chief steward. And quite frankly, up north, we weren't as together as you were down south. And I wanted to see that happen. And I went to Mark. All my chiefs know this. I went to Mark and talked to him about what can be done. What are we going to do to become more, quite frankly, as strong as the South was? And he gave me a lot of ideas and some examples. We had a chief stewards meeting. We put this together, and we said we were going to do it. And now I can tell you, we are there. But we're there because we had a good example, because we follow the model that, quite frankly, Mark Crum put together down here. I think this local is stronger for it because of all of us, and I think that's why he deserves your vote. I think that's why you have to vote for him. We need him. Doug Sheehan, listen, everybody said it. The reality is, we were in ruins, and back in '89 with the old group. And Doug came in with the McCracken team and took us from 39 bucks to where we are today, which in fact we can pull chief stewards off the job, and we have to do things like Kevin said, we need to tally up our double woods. We may need to look at plant conditions, and quite frankly, very recently, we had to look at what contractors were doing. We're going to have a favorable arbitration case, I believe, for all laid-off members because of the ability that we had to take people off the job and find out what contractors are doing so we can prove that they're actually doing our work, traditional telephone work. That's the kind of thing that you get because of Doug doing his job and making sure that our money is protected and making sure it grows. He's done that absolutely 100%. Vice President's role. Quite frankly, for a business agent, one of the most important roles for us is the Vice President. I think you need three things to be a good Vice President. You need experience, you need knowledge, and you need drive. Now, knowledge, a lot of people can be taught. Most of us have the ability to learn. The question is, how fast can you learn? Let's talk about just something that happened here a while back, high-lows. This was a big issue for linemen as well as everyone else. But we had an issue with the Con Ed high-lows. We needed training. We were having a hard time getting it. And it was a fight to get the company to bring Con Ed in and start doing that training, and we had our linemen trained on that. But I had to go to John with that because we needed more of a push. And John picked up right away what the issue was, the outside plan, saw what was going on, pushed this company, and we eventually got that training. Now, the company could have done better. We could have had more people trained, but at least we got the more people trained so that we can protect ourselves out there. That's knowledge. Experience. Been on this board 10 years. John and I both came on the board at the exact same time. 10 years. You can't buy that experience. You have to earn it. John has that because at the local, or I should say in the union, we do things at different levels. A shop steward, quite frankly, doesn't handle the company the way a chief steward does. And an area chief steward doesn't handle the company the way a shop steward does. Once you get into business agent, you start to get into leaps and bounds a little bit higher because you have to. Your altitude is higher. But vice president is an altitude that, quite frankly, you don't get unless you've been working at this for a while. John's been at this job for a decade. I've seen him work with management. I've seen him work with management of all crafts. He's the kind of guy that we need. We need that experience. And then there's the last thing, the one that I think is the most important, drive. 24/7. That's what we need. 24/7. What does that mean? It means you come to work early. It means you leave late. It means that if it's a Monday to Friday after hours, we can make a call, you're picking up that phone. It means if it's Saturday, Sunday, we have the person we can rely on. As business agents, we need that. We're picking up the phone 24/7. Ask your chiefs. But we can't get it done. We have to go to the next guy. And I have to be able to count on that next guy is going to pick up that phone but do something else. When he's done listening to me, he picks up that phone and he gets a hold of the company. Does his best to try to solve the problem, and if he can't, he's back on that phone the very next day. There is nobody, in my opinion, that has those three qualities in this local like John Gentile. We need those. We deserve those. We have to have it. So I'd appreciate it if you consider John as vice president, vote for him, and do it for a selfish reason because we need it. Last, you don't have a team. You can't put a team together like this unless you have good leadership. Now, I talked about knowledge, I talked about experience, and I talked about drive. There's one more thing you need to be a leader: foresight. You have to be able to look at what's ahead of us. The reality is 2/3 of our local needs between 10 and 15 more years just to reach retirement, and a significant number of us need 20 years. It's the foresight of the leadership of Kevin Shield that has been putting us as business agents to doing the things that we need to do to get that. We need that. Every one of us need that, because it doesn't matter if we do all our work every day for the day-to-day stuff if we can't count on a job. Kevin's provided that leadership. He insists on it from this board, and that's why, quite frankly, I think we have become the A team. And I think you need to vote for the A team. I appreciate your time.